Hello, brothers and sisters. I found another clip where Charlie Kirk was talking to somebody about civil rights on campus. Now, here we go, and I already know this guy's a lunatic. You should be proud and stand up for your opinions. There's no need to cover your face up unless you're a lunatic. And I don't care if that's the right or the left. It's usually the left, but I have seen some of the Raise the Colors crowd over in the UK covering their faces up. No, if you're going to go to protest, don't cover your face up. Be proud of whatever your opinion is. Otherwise, I know you're a lunatic and a troublemaker if you're going to do that. So that's my first opinion without even seeing any of this. So let's see what this guy had to say. They're going to have some kind of discussion about free speech. It's like about 8 minutes long. Don't know how much we'll watch, but we will see. So let's see what this is all about.
Something I don't find very interesting about you, something I find kind of repulsive, is that I believe you said that the Civil Rights Act was bad and that we shouldn't have that.
Thanks to the Civil Rights Act, if you have white skin color, it's much harder to get into a college than if someone has black skin color. Much harder. You have to get higher test scores. It's a much harder pool, largely thanks to the precedent set by the Civil Rights Act, not to mention all the trans stuff, and they use the Civil Rights Act to justify.
So yeah, this is accurate. This has bugged me ever since I went to college. They had affirmative action back then, and it meant that people with lower test scores were able to get slots in colleges because of their skin color. And I think that finally went away really not that long ago, maybe in the last 10 years. I don't remember which court case it was, but it was I think there was a girl out of the University of Texas who failed to get in, and she had higher test scores than some of the people that got in, but she was white. And she sued, and it took her years and years and years. She never did go to the University of Texas after that. But she did win, and at that point, the Supreme Court, if I remember right, they struck affirmative action down in colleges. And basically, they said, hey, yeah, it was good at the time to give a leg up to minorities who'd been underprivileged for a long time, but the Civil Rights Act was like 50 years ago or whatever. And so it's time to go ahead and put that away now that minorities have many, many more opportunities than they used to have. But Charlie's exactly right. The Civil Rights Act was used to discriminate against white people. You had to have higher test scores to get into college, 100%.
You're familiar with the term equity, right? Where different people have different circumstances.
It's Marxism. I reject.
Okay. Well, whether you reject it or not, you have to understand is that when for example, you're born in like a black neighborhood, you're born in like a very poor area like that, with like very low economic opportunity, very, very poor schools or very low ratings, where the average test score is much lower. When you're in that environment, you have the whole system up against you, right?
Okay, so are you a student here? I'm guessing you are.
Oh, yeah, I'm a student here.
Are you a pretty good student?
Oh, yeah, I would say I'm a good student. I have a pretty high GPA.
Okay, let me tell you what I'm going to do. By force, white man.
Okay, yeah.
I'm going to take your GPA. I'm going to give it to a woman of color.
Okay.
You're cool with that?
I mean, yeah, I can just work back up. Like,
there's no working back up.
I can pull myself up by my bootstraps.
No, there's no working back up.
What do you mean you can't work back up? That's the whole point of conservatism, isn't it?
I'm going to keep on taking it from you because that's equity. And you're cool with that.
What? But that's not
This is equity in practice.
Equity isn't taking. Equity is applying the equal standard.
If you give, how do you get? You must take, and then you give.
Wait, what do you mean?
That which is given must first be taken.
The problem here is really poverty, not that somebody's black. Yes, it's true. If you have much less opportunities if you're born poor and you're in a very poor school district with poor teachers. But you can make the exact same claim of poor white folk. And there's a lot more poor white folk in America than there are black folk. And I do also agree with Charlie's point. I'm also not a Marxist. I'm a capitalist. In a socialist society, you take from those that have and give to those that don't have. So that lowers the standard for everyone except those at the very lowest tiers of society. It does bring them up, but it brings the overall standard for everyone over because there are no incentives to actually work hard when your hard work is taken away from you and given to somebody else. All of society actually suffers. I'm more of a capitalism person. Rising tides float all boats. All the examples of socialist systems, none of them work. Find me one socialist utopia that works in the long run. Venezuela, failed. Russia or USSR, failed. Cuba, failed. North Korea, failing. I think North Korea is the only one left that's pure socialist. You might claim that China is a socialist system, but it's really not. It's a mix with capitalism. They're making a lot of money through capitalism. So socialism, Marxism is a failed experiment. And anyone who can't see that just isn't a good student of history.
Let me ask you a very simple question. A term you keep on throwing around.
Got you.
What is racism?
What is racism? Ooh, that's a very complicated question. But
no, it's not.
I mean, there's a simple answer, and then there's the highly theoretical answer.
Give me the simple.
The simple answer. It's discrimination.
Based on the color of the skin.
Based on the color of the skin, yeah.
Got it. Thank you. So isn't it racist then to penalize white people to come into college or to get jobs based on the color of their skin?
It is.
Well, no.
Wouldn't that be racist?
It is.
So you're arguing for a very racist policy, which is that we should actively discriminate against people based on the color of their skin, which is affirmative action and DEI in practice.
I just disagree with the premise that you can do like anti-white racism because
Wait, can you be racist against white people?
No, bro, I'm a cracker, bro. What the No, you can't be racist towards white. Bro, there's so many crackers here, bro. There's your clip, bro. There's your clip.
Yes, it seems like this guy is a good student of like critical race theory, and he believes in all that white privilege and DEI and all that stuff. All that is racism. Critical race theory, if you say all white people have privilege and so we need to discriminate against them, that's racism. But a lot of people feel like this kid that you can't be racist against white people. Sure you can. Everybody can be racist against somebody. There's no reverse racism. It's just racism. As Charlie said, all these DEI affirmative action type things are just racism against white people. It's a fact. You may claim it's good to be racist against white people because you want equity, but I reject that notion personally. I don't think racism is ever good.
Now he's president. Now that racism is gone now because Trump is back and we're no longer pandering, right? Do you think that these very downturned sort of black neighborhoods that have been sort of left behind, do you think they're going to become revitalized now? Is that what you think is going to happen?
Yeah, they'll do better for sure.
You think they're going to do better? Now that we've stopped helping them, they're going to do better.
Well, see, that's an interesting thing.
Because that seems like contradictory to me, just on basic logic.
Well, actually, black Americans under Donald Trump in the first term saw the greatest economic renaissance that they saw since the 1950s.
You don't think
highest
that's due to
wage
Obama,
increases, lowest unemployment, revitalization, amazing investment in their communities.
I think Charlie makes a good point there. A lot of black folks actually voted for Trump this last time because they saw that things were getting better for them, or else why would they have done it? He did better with black folk than any Republican ever has. And I think a lot of that is people are finally seeing that all the handouts Democrats have been giving for years are just keeping people poor, and that the opportunities that are afforded by just hard work and getting out there and not relying on those handouts will actually improve your outcomes in the long run. It's a capitalist argument instead of a socialist argument.
Opportunity zones.
But that's when we had affirmative action, so wouldn't that be bad?
Well, again, we actually got rid of affirmative action now.
But
it's going to do
that was
even better.
now, but I'm talking about before.
Those are unrelated things, though, just to be perfectly clear.
They don't seem unrelated to me.
Well, affirmative action
policies addressing racism. They seem
affirmative
really
action is, again...
So, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you.
No, you are. That's okay.
I'm sorry.
Affirmative action is largely federal government hiring practices and the adjacent institutions. I think that all communities will do even better when we stop living under the soft bigotry of low expectations. Inherent in your argument is that we have to pander to certain communities based on the color of their skin because they can't do as well as white people. I reject the premise. I think that we should try to say, I don't care about the color of your skin. I care about what you bring to the table. And stop pandering to people based on special criteria, points, and acceptance to college, saying that we're going to make it easier for one group and harder for another group.
I don't think it's pandering, though. I think it's understanding.
Okay, but let
me. Do you think that circumstances and working based on that?
Do you think that we should have black-only dormitories in America?
No. Why would I want that?
Okay, well, there's hundreds of schools that have those actually.
What do you mean black only? Like they're not. White people are not allowed in.
No,
at
white
all.
people are not allowed.
White people. Yeah, that's why I said white people are not allowed in.
Correct. We have black-only graduation ceremonies across the country.
Well, those are from well, I believe those are most likely at like HBCUs, right?
No, like the University of Michigan has one, Yale has one, Harvard has one. So we're agreeing that that is wrong. That is the furthest extension of hyper race obsession. So you could choose one or the other. You can be race obsessed or merit obsessed. We as conservatives decide to be merit obsessed, to build a country based on how hard you work and what you're able to deliver.
Okay. Well, so wait here. Just I wasn't.
Final point.
Oh yeah, final point. Sure. Okay. Here, this thing's a little close. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend your wonderful setup here. Yeah. So I guess I'll just restate my point that I don't believe you mentioned like all black dormitories, right? I mean, I don't really comment on that. I mean, I don't know if that's real. To me, that sounds fake, but I'll give you the benefit of the doubt here.
It's very real.
Okay. But I just think it's a very irrelevant kind of like aesthetic focused thing. It doesn't really affect the material conditions of like black people.
If you heard there were white-only dormitories, there'd be marching in the streets, right?
Oh, well, because okay, I get
What's the
I get
difference?
The difference is, like, for example, if you want to go back to segregation, the all-white dormitory was nice as f***, and the all-black one was So if that was brought back, okay, if we were to do an all-white dormitory and an all-black
I'm not
dormitory was
recommending
like-
it. I think actually
Okay.
segregation is wrong and evil, and we're heading until Donald Trump. We were heading in that direction.
But like, okay, I'll go back to because I let it slip by. But you mentioned that like in the early years of the Donald Trump presidency, right? That the conditions for the employment and stuff were going up for black people. What I would say is the economy works slow. It works at like a time dilation for when a policy is initially enacted. So what I would probably assume based on what you said to me is that it was the Obama era policies that actually led to that, and not the Trump policies, because stuff like tax cuts
I
for
just
the
love
rich
it.
doesn't really help.
In a year from now,
black
we're going to have
people.
the greatest economy ever. They're going to say it's all Biden. It's all Biden.
Well, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the economy is going to shit with what all Elon Musk is doing.
Oh.
But if that was to happen, I mean, I guess my whole worldview. But I'm pretty certain it's not going to happen.
What about Elon? What Elon's doing bothers you? Do you not want to see the government efficient?
The government is efficient. He's just firing everybody. It looks like he did to Twitter. But y'all see what happened to Twitter, bro? It's racist as now. It's just a Nazi haven. It went from like a pretty accepting place to like what like where like the average blue checkmark is saying Hail Hitler. Like Elon Musk himself has replied to like, he did the Nazi salute. Like, we're not gonna forget about that, are we?
No, he didn't.
What do you mean? Y'all didn't see that clip, bro? Y'all see when he did that?
All right.
Oh, okay.
And by the way,
Yeah,
I just want to
thank you.
thank you for something.
You're welcome.
Well, I want to thank you.
Do I get a portion of like the TikTok revenue you're gonna get from this?
I want to thank you. I want to thank you for something.
Oh yeah.
You are a perfect reminder
I
why
got my
we won
Cash
in
App,
November.
though.
So thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a great slam at the end. You're a perfect reminder of why we won in November. No, I completely agree with everything Charlie said here. We got to get rid of DEI. We've got to get rid of affirmative action. We need to get rid of critical race theory. All these things are just racism against white people. And if you're against racism, you should just be against racism. And then also, we need to get rid of socialism. Capitalistic policies are better for everyone in general. The real problem is poverty, and poverty is not really racial. There's more poor white folk than there are poor black folk. We just need to tackle poverty and just forget about the whole race thing. I don't have anything to disagree with in this. If I was the FBI, I'd be looking into this guy. He's definitely a lunatic. Let me know what you guys think. Like and subscribe if you like this. If you didn't like it, don't watch it. Thanks. Bye.